Howdy, folks. JT, how are you doing? I called an audible
Hey,
there.
hello. Yeah, that was faster than I expected to be brought into this one.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the great Rambling Canuck made that for me a couple years ago. But hey, yeah, you're the guest. But hey, great to have you, JT. A little bit different. We'll see. We always on the move for new and interesting introductions. But JT, how are you doing tonight? I think we're both like
Pretty tired, to
worn
be
out.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we got back from a week on vacation. I need another week just to lay around the house.
right, right.
So, but hey, but all good, all good.
I am enjoying a very nice model of
Yeah.
the Enterprise
Oh,
NCC
cool.
1701, the
Yes.
original from the 60s.
Oh,
It
really?
lights up. It has all kinds of lighting patterns and it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, I tell you what. Well, now that you're talking about space and everything else, we've got the missions up in, they've swung around the moon. Now they're headed back,
I know, what a
and
thing, right?
yeah.
The sad thing was, I didn't even know it was happening till they already had entered orbit.
Oh my gosh, yo, no, yeah, it's like a lot of people didn't know about it this time, and some of us did, and it's fortunate that we did, and um, it's really historic with what's happened. First time in 53 years, going to the moon. Of course, future missions to go. By the
I
way,
blame the
yeah,
media on that one for not telling us. Where's
yeah.
Stephen A. Smith with his hard hitting reporting?
Well,
You
you
need
know
to.
what? I gotta say, the hell with Stephen A. Smith. You know
Oh, I know.
why? Yeah, you know why? Because this person was one of the people out there in the forefront of telling it the whole world about this coming up. Our friend Anna's Gameland, who also broadcast the launch, and then last night I was on with her as we watched the swing around the moon. It was so awesome. But yeah, so I know Anna's Gameland. Get your news on her channel at all. Oh, because yeah, it seemed like it all of a sudden hit us.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, but I will tell you, JT, you had a few problems with your internet, right? Your little Microsoft Windows 11 update.
Oh yeah.
Oh
When
yeah.
do I not
Well,
have problems with
well,
Windows?
let me say real quick. Hi to Chewy. Chewy, good to see you. We are definitely going to be talking some college basketball here. But here, this was fun. The other night, Anna and I were watching the burns to get them in position to move around the moon. They
Mhm.
ran the test. They ran the little meetings and their diagnostics, and they came back nominal. Uh, we have a problem with Windows Outlook. It's buffering.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Doesn't
We
surprise me, but
we cleared
what surprises me is them using Outlook in space for anything.
this is how bad it was. We're sitting there watching it. They did it 3 or 4 or 5 times, and they couldn't. Still, the same problem came back. Windows failed. Hey, Legatus, how are you tonight? But hey, like you said, you
Well,
came in.
there's all kinds of other email clients that you could use that just work way better.
Well,
Use less memory, less
yeah,
energy.
it's just
Which you
like,
think would they would want that on the space shuttle? I mean,
yeah,
but hey,
just Windows. I found this meme, and I found this just and JT. We could have some fun with this one. Because Windows, it's the leader. Everybody goes to it, supposedly. There's Linux, there's rumors about everything else. But hey, here, you might appreciate this being an IT guy yourself. Microsoft, when they become the first company to have an email service not work on and outside Earth.
yeah, yeah,
Oh God,
that's about
JT.
right. That's about right.
I saw this the other day and I'm like going crazy. So it's like, oh,
Well,
great.
they're not dominant everywhere. They're
Yeah,
just dominant on laptops and in your work desktops. That's about it.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
count all the world's servers, all the world's devices that go into like traffic stoplights and all kinds of other stuff, yeah, no, Linux just squashes them. like no other. I would have thought the space shuttle would have run on Linux. Can you imagine them trying to get up there and then the license doesn't work?
Who would have thought something as simple as email wasn't going to work? And it was holding the whole test, the whole burn up because of stupid email function. It was, you had to be there to really see it and laugh about it. It was like really? We got $30 million. Well, of course, the $30 million is on the toilet, by the way, but that's another story. But hey, we got to.
Well, hey, I'm redoing my bathroom soon, so I too spent $30 million on my toilet.
We had that. We did a shower
anyway.
Well, we did that with a shower when we first got married, and it was like, and then we went to one of the big box chain companies, thinking it would be easier, and then it took forever to get the people out there. Then it was like they told my wife, "Yeah, we're doing you a favor because we don't do residential anymore," and she's like, "Well, why don't you tell these people that we hired you through?"
Yeah, exactly.
But it is definitely interesting. I will say. Let's say, I think we said hello to everybody. Anna's here, Chewy's here, you're here, JT, Legatus is here, and Chewy is also on the Twitch side. Be sure to follow us over there on the Twitch side. Also, let me make sure I did put the tweet out. Yes, the tweet is out. So, all right, thank you. All right, well, JT, I don't know how you want to do this because we got about 90 minutes because we're tired tonight, but basketball. Before we get into the Final Four that had happened this last weekend, what are some of your observations? I don't know if you still have our map of what we did 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it all got blown out of the water, all totally and completely.
Boy.
There's not, there about the only thing we got right was Arizona in the Final Four and Michigan in the Final Four. Everything else we got wrong all over again. So,
well, at least we're 50%,
Sure.
Wait a second. Okay, I'm going to take a little audible right now since we. Interesting. You listen. I'm a big believer in women's sports, JT. I really am.
Okay.
Because college softball, I like the women's softball much better than the men's baseball. It moves faster. They play harder. I do like women's college basketball. I do. But this goes beyond that. This is actually about women's volleyball. Yeah. According to ESPN, Wrigley Field is to host the Big Ten SEC volleyball doubleheader in September. They've, how the Big Ten SEC every year has the Big Ten SEC Challenge in basketball. Well, they're doing it in volleyball this year. They announced that Nebraska will play Missouri and Penn State will meet Kentucky at Wrigley Field on September 6th. Wow. Could you imagine watching volleyball from a baseball stand? So,
that sounds like a horrible viewing experience.
They've got to put chairs on the field or something, I would think. But Big Ten SEC Volleyball Challenge Week culminating at Wrigley Field brings together the highest level of women's volleyball competition, one of the most iconic venues in the country. The Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti said, as women's volleyball participation, sponsorship, attendance, and viewership continue to grow, we look forward to providing this unique opportunity to showcase the exceptional competition. The matches will mark the first time volleyball has been played at Wrigley Field, and both will be broadcast on Fox. Hey. What do you mean nobody likes volleyball? Yeah, okay. This is not beach volleyball, but Legatus, yes. One of the new female, the women's sports in the NCAA in college is beach volleyball. JT, did you know that?
No.
Mm-hmm. They do. The university I work at, sometimes they have beach volleyball courts right there too. So beach volleyball is a legitimate sport, but what they're talking here is the indoor version of volleyball. So bringing the SEC and Big Ten together for championship caliber volleyball showcase culminating in an iconic venue like Wrigley Field, it reflects the extraordinary momentum of the sport, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey said. This initiative not only elevates volleyball on a national stage, but underscores a continued growth and investment in women's athletics. Penn State has won 8 national championships, most recently in 2024. Nebraska, 5 titles, most recent in 2017. Kentucky won 2020, and the runner-up was to Texas A&M last season. So, Nebraska hosted a women's volleyball doubleheader at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln in August of 2023 with an attendance of 92,003, the largest ever documented for a women's sporting event in the world. Yes, Jess. Just came out. When I say Wrigley, yes. Yes, come in at Wrigley Field. Yes, indoor volleyball at Wrigley Field. Yes. Yes, believe it or not. Yay. It's crazy. Oh gosh. So hey, it's cool. Hey, Jess. Yep. Anna says, hi, Jess. First, what are your thoughts, JT? I know I hit you cold with this one.
Oh, I could not care less.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I think it'd be cool. I'll be honest. I do. Women's volleyball is a sport that I really liked when I was in college, but just have not had time to get over there for it.
No, I don't think it'll be a good experience as a fan to go and watch at that venue.
Yeah, probably not.
And
but
I'd be curious. Too many other sports going on at that time.
Yeah.
Everything from your non-revenue sports like lacrosse is full tilt at that point. Soccer. Then you've got, the MLB. You've got NCAA men's football. You've got the NFL. You've got probably something else still going on too at that time. So I'm sitting here going, this is, I nobody asked for this.
But it is in the heart of volleyball season, though. That's the thing, is you can't control the calendar for the sport. When was the last time I played volleyball? Well, definitely back in high school. I probably played a pickup game as an adult here or there, but the last time I remember was in high school. Of course, one time I went on a church trip with people and we were doing volleyball and I ran right into a tree. That was fun. God, yeah, okay. I agree. Nobody asked for it. But listen, when Dodgeball, the movie, came out with ESPN The Ocho with those weird sports and stuff, I'm that guy that will watch the weird sports. So I'm sorry, JT. But so anyway. Maybe it's running in that tree that one time that knocked my noggin. But all right, well, I thought that would be a good thing to start with. But see, that went over like a lead balloon.
You're out on your own on that one.
Man, you guys, I'm trying to be a big proponent for things. So anyway,
so you want to hear another Debbie Downer thing here going on?
Lord,
I finally, they did the raffle for the right to purchase the tickets for Banana Ball.
Yes, I meant to ask you about that. Yes, how did that process work?
I did not get selected, and immediately after they're like, "Oh, check out our secondary ticket resale site right here," and wouldn't you know it, how expensive the tickets were?
Oh, well, we talked about that. Yeah, it's beyond ridiculous. Yeah, some other computer organization buys it up and then they charge 5 times the value of what it should be.
I mean, look, I don't know if people did that or not, but people definitely went in and bought stuff and immediately tried to flip it. And I'm like, this, what was the point in even doing this raffle in the first place if you're going to have your own secondary ticket market set up
and
by yourself? I find that to be conflict of interest.
Well, yes, when you said they did it themselves, it's like, look, that's a scummy business practice. You're artificially inflating your own ticket value, and people catch on to that. It's like, I tell you, Banana Bowl is fun to watch. We can watch them for free on ESPN when they're on, and they're on YouTube also. It just save the ticket prices. But I tell you, if you ever get a chance to watch them, because it's really neat to see the stunting and all that they do. Jess said indoor volleyball should be UC, not Wrigley, in Chicago. Hey, we could have it Soldier Field. Now, see, Chewy's like, if volleyball being played at a baseball field, I hope they get people in the seats. I do too, because I think it would be good for the sport and would be something different. Now, I want to make sure we get Chewy said his. We're going to let Chewy have a. I'm going to start off with his comments, then we're going to get into basketball here. Okay. So Chewy said, my 2 cents on the Final Four. My goodness, Turner as a whole fails at delivering what a simulcast show should be like. The first game was a copy and paste with UConn Illinois game. Second game had one alternate way to tune in, and it was having the Fab Five, but on True TV. See, this is one of the problems is they've moved it off of CBS. Once they moved it off CBS, it's the Final Four weekend should be on CBS. What do you think, JT?
Well, I certainly didn't get to see the final.
Yeah.
So this was going to be kind of a rant I had where they kill their own sport because not all of us have time on a Monday night to go to a bar to watch this kind of thing,
and they tip off at 9 Eastern, and they tip off near 9 Eastern. So
and I am not signing up for a cable package for 1 month or a streaming package for 1 month just to watch your damn game. It isn't going to happen. So, putting it on Turner. Well, I guess I'm just not going to watch it. I guess I just don't have to care that much.
Now, see what I do
and I'm serious about that. I'll just check the score on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're up. Oh, okay. I guess.
See, you have different options. This is why they're kind of stupid with this. One, I like that they expanded all these channels because in the early rounds, because we can now see all the games at any time we choose to. Back in the old day when it was just CBS, you were stuck with your regional game. You couldn't flip over and watch the upsets and the cool games that were happening. So I like it. But in the later rounds, to me, it's got to be CBS. And quit tipping off at 9 o'clock Eastern. People have lives. They have everything else. And plus, also, if you're a Gator fan like last year and you celebrated the national title, I don't want to just go to bed. I want to be able to, so let's not have it so late. But I do agree with you.
And on Mondays.
Yes.
And on Mondays.
You know what also has happened? You could actually get to watch it free on the NCAA as long as you have a certain networks.
Yeah, but I don't. And no one under the age of 50 does. Like we millennials and younger do not pay for these networks.
All right.
So if you long term, if you don't want people to care about your sport, keep putting it on Turner.
Yeah, put it behind a paywall, just like everybody does these days. Yeah, exactly. So, see, Chewy was talking about that. It'd be an interesting. See, at least Chewy and I will show up for it. That's cool.
Yeah, and that goes beyond just this sport too. It is so just absolutely ridiculous when you have to start buying all these different networks and packages for other sport. Now, do you know who the number one team is in the Eastern Conference for the NBA?
No, I don't.
The Detroit Pistons.
Wow, JT.
No one knows this, and no one cares.
Well, Jess cut
cares. No one knows it. No one cares.
Jess knows it. She loves Detroit. I know, as a Chicago fan.
But my point is, they hide these games in all these places behind all these paywalls, and then it's like, okay, well, no one in town is talking about this around the water cooler because they've hidden the game behind so many other things and then jacked up the ticket prices if you want to go and actually watch them.
Yep.
That people would rather bet on your sport than go watch it.
Yeah. That's another topic there. How gambling's taken over everything.
The Pistons have been so bad for 20 plus years that everybody just stopped watching entirely. And they've won 3 championships. Yep. Which puts them in, outside of your cheater eras where the Lakers won it 1 million times. They are at the top. They are at the top in like the top 5 programs, even just winning 3. Yeah, so I mean,
Well, Chewy did.
I just love how these leagues just get the TV money, and it's like, well, where do these TV networks actually get the money back? Because people aren't watching the ads, people aren't signing up to watch this. At a certain point, they're going to lose money. At a certain point, they just will. There's too many other things competing for people's attention.
Jess doesn't pay attention to WNBA, and Anna's saying same with boxing and UFC. It's all on Netflix now. Ew.
Oh, well, don't even get me. We're going to talk about non-sports ball if you get me on a Netflix tirade. So,
okay.
Best we don't.
Yes. Well, let's look at Chewy's comment here that he did see the final, but if you want TBS to be the national way to see the game, it's one thing, but TNT needs to offer a different way. True needs a different way. I remember when this was first introduced, TNT had the radio guys for Team 1. True TV had Team 2 for their radio guys. So, better announcers, better broadcasting. I just still believe that the Final Four, all three of those games should only be on CBS. That's what it is historically, available to everybody and anybody that wanted to watch it. But
you would think you'd make more money off advertising,
because
more people would watch it.
I know there's been some speculation about the Super Bowl eventually going up behind a paywall to
like
channels.
Amazon Prime or somebody.
Anything else, yeah. All they need is the spur to do it. All right. Well, let's take a look. In terms of the games that have happened, of course, Florida lost in the round of 32, so that pretty much shot my season. Sparty did make it a little bit further, but to close the season on your Sparty, how do you think they did? What do you look for them in the future for Michigan State?
More of the same. I mean, they did exactly what they pretty much do every year, make it not as far, a little bit further than what you'd expect, and then don't pull off a W in the finals. I could go in depth on individual players or outlook for next year or recruiting, but this is exactly what happens every single year, and it's why Izzo never retires, because he hasn't won that second championship. And look, I did watch this game, and they let themselves get down by like 20 points or something in the first half, maybe more. It was almost to the point where you turn it off and you go do something else. Then they actually got themselves into the lead at one point. And of course you can't hold on to that because you spent all your time and energy trying to come back from a 20+ point deficit. The other team is going to get the flow of the game back their direction eventually too, right?
Right.
UConn is not a team that would just fold like that. You had, I think UConn didn't score for like 7 minutes or something, just threw bricks for 7 minutes.
Oh God,
they're not going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Right. They'll eventually start making baskets again. So, they'll do just fine next year. And that's what they'll do. Just fine.
Well,
and that's what I've come to expect out of them.
Okay, well, that's fairly said. And Fallout Dave's here. Hey, Fallout Dave, and just fine. She's here. That's a great Figgy Plays. Hello, friends. Figgy, good to see you.
The one thing I will say is that the sting of it was taken out a little bit less by having UConn go all the way to the finals. But man, they were such a beatable team. But Michigan State just did not feel like shooting. And they did, and just were shooting air balls, bricks. They missed more free throws in the first half than I think I've ever seen one of their teams miss. And it was all because of that, right? It was all because of that. It's not like they were seriously outplayed on defense or didn't do well on offense. They just kept missing. And what can you even say to that?
Well, I get you. I understand. My team ended up choking this season too away. When Florida lost that game, and I think we were able to talk about it before we last left. They spent so much energy. They finally took the lead to by two over Iowa with a few seconds left. And why the hell Todd Golden put a press on? What and they designed it to chase the guy with the ball. Why? My thing was stand at the 3-point line and in the midcourt and just don't let them shoot an uncontested three. Let them have two. You go to overtime. But no, and they lost. I mean, let the one guy in the corner. Of course, they lost that way. But I tell you, that was still a friggin' punch, JT. That was still a punch. If I was officiating,
you're still mad about the first weekend?
Yes. The son of a gun should have been thrown out of the game for throwing a friggin' punch. That was a punch.
I still don't think that they would have ever made it out of that bracket.
No, I don't. I'd probably not. I mean, let's look at the bracket in just a second. We'll see what would happen. So, oh man, Figgy, you're back home, but a portable AC. Yes, I know you can't, Figgy. All the best to you. We appreciate you being here tonight. So, but yeah, exactly. You know what? Do you follow the UFC and all much, JT?
No.
I love this discussion between Chewy and Anna about the UFC back there. That's wonderful. Y'all please have at it. Maybe one day we'll learn more about it. We're going to learn more about soccer this year. But tonight the focus will be is with the NCAAs here. I'm going to bring up the brackets. We're going to go through these fairly quickly because one of the matchups in the East was Duke nearly losing in the first round to Siena, who only played 5 players for all but 10 seconds of the game, and then they had a substitute. It was like Duke should have lost that game. But then, you follow the rest of the bracket. UConn comes up through the South after taking off Michigan State. But that amazing Duke fouled up. Duke should have beaten UConn, committed the turnover with the seconds left. Then UConn drains like a 30-footer.
Yeah, they did that more than once in Michigan State too.
That is something. I mean, that I saw that shot when I was out of town. That was just like, holy crap. Could have happened to a nicer team like Duke, but hey, yeah. So
well, then you had a 1-2 with Arizona. I thought they were I thought they were darn near unstoppable, but
yeah. I mean, Arkansas. See, High Point is the class. High Point was the one story out of, I think, of the tournament. They're really a low seed that went 12 seed. They beat Wisconsin. They pushed Arkansas pretty good, but then Arkansas got dispatched really quickly against Arizona. Of course, one of Arkansas players got thrown out of the game for just slinging a guy across the court. So we can sling a guy across the court, but throwing a punch is okay. Got it.
Well, the other thing is going into the Sweet 16. You had 6, and we didn't have a chance to talk about it. 6 Big Ten teams going into the Sweet 16. I mean, that really just tells you, that tells you some conferences were not all that, and they got ranked in places they never should have been.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about why the SEC got 10 teams in.
Yeah, there was no reason for that.
I think it shows we lost the ability to have some mid-majors in there that should have been there. So Davis fixated with the sports betting, but you know what? I love this conversation between Chewy and Anna out there with the UFC and stuff. But like Chewy said here about when HBO decided to go away from boxing and let other platforms do the thing. I remember when HBO held boxing. I believe Mike Tyson had several matches.
For all those fights, you had to pay pay-per-view to get access to them.
No, you actually could watch them on HBO, regular HBO. I believe that's where Evander Holyfield and Tyson fought when Tyson lost for the first time. So, but even Jess, look at this Midwestern girl, Big Ten, aka 20-something teams. JT.
Yeah. Just call it the Big. That way, it doesn't matter how many 60 teams you get to in about a decade. And so you have the Big Ten just dominating the Sweet 16 in a way that even I didn't really expect quite that many teams to do it. it doesn't really show in the Final Four quite that much, although you do get Purdue in the Elite Eight on the top of this bracket. So,
although it was kind of interesting that it was like Texas was the class of the SEC to move along, push Purdue here as 11th seed, and remember they had the play-in game.
Yep.
So that was interesting how they went along, but then Arizona dispatches Purdue pretty easily by 15. If we go down into the South, where Florida lost to Iowa by the 1 point, we had the battle of the cornfields, and then of course,
well, you had Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois all in one. All in one. So
it's like a Big Ten championship again.
That. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey,
Figgy, a 9-3 and a 1-6 in the Elite Eight. Like that's you rarely see that.
Figgy, nod your head all you want, even in pretending you know it's great to have you with us, my friend. Great to have you again with us tonight. So Jess is right. Yeah, it spans the whole country. So they can't count. We know.
Actually, the whole country, but I didn't see UCLA in there. I didn't see Maryland in there.
Although UCLA did win the women's championship, though, the women's college basketball, they beat South Carolina. So, and it's Mr. Angel, our resident space alien, coming in very deep of the night. How are you doing? Good to see you too. So good to see you, Mr. Angel. Hope you're well tonight. So looking at, as you mentioned, Illinois moves up through the South. See, I think this is what was disappointing. Florida wins this game. I think they would have gone, especially with Houston going out. But oh well, what could have been? What the team that really amazes me looking back was this Michigan team. I mean, they just were like a buzzsaw everywhere. Tennessee had no chance in this.
Did they even have one close game the whole tournament? No, they did not.
Nope. 101-80, 95-72, 90-77, 95-62, and then they win 69-63. That was the closest game in the championship game. Our friend Martin D with a C, his team goes down in defeat. Of course, one of the crankiest coaches is Dan Hurley. So last year when they lost to Florida, he went off really in a bad mood. So one of the coaches you love to pick on. So this day and age. So
yeah. So like I said, Michigan State making it to the Sweet 16. It's nothing to be upset about outside of their performance in that game.
Right.
Was just, I mean, they had to fight so hard to try to just make it competitive. And then UConn, was able to figure out their issue, which just required them to put up a few points.
Yeah,
keep them away from the victory. And
this game really, I mean, when I tuned in, it was in the second half, and I think UConn was still in the low 30s. It was a horrible game. And Figgy, look, Figgy, don't pollute the chat. I'm glad you're here tonight. I'm glad to hear but don't start dissension. As Anna knows what's going on. She's just playing funny. And then of course we got Fallout Dave with his mushy peas and Darth Maul. No,
but
get it under control. Get it under control, kids.
In the end, we had two of those teams. We were 50% of the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
And half the teams are the Big Ten. So I know next year the whole thing is going to be let's disrespect the Big Ten and give it to the SEC again.
I don't think so. I think after this year, I don't think so. After this year, I think the Big Ten pretty well quashed that again. I mean, they reasserted their dominance, and when you had weak, Florida was the best out of the conference, but they went out really early. It's not going to do well for the conference next year. Now, what's going to be happening as a Gator fan is who's coming back, because the talk is Chernobyl and Condon are leaning towards coming back. Now, if Hawk comes back to like the 07 team did, this could be a good team again next year. They need a better guard than Xavier Lee, though. This team did not have reliable guard play. Boogie Flynn is a great defender, but was not a scoring guard that they need. So Michael Hanglocken, the 7'1" kid that broke his leg 2 years ago, is applying for another year, but he's entered the transfer portal because he wants more playing time. But I tell you what, you watch him on the
you're
court.
not cut out for the NBA and you're not getting a real education, then
hey, you can, like they said, look at Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. He can make more staying in college playing quarterback as a collegiate than trying to go in as an undrafted free agent. So, but that's what they're finding too. And of course, the 7'9" Olivier Hugh from Canada is also transferring out of Florida. So, but 2 centers, but we'll see what happens with that team next year. Should be special again. So let me see. Let me see if I missed anybody here. Dave says when he nods his head, he makes rocks. A lot of noise. So, dirty boxing. Oh wow, wow. What that could be interesting though. Dirty boxing sounds cool. So, have to learn more about that though. Let's see. Figgy says, "Hey, I didn't do anything. I'm just here as an athletic supporter." Yes, I love that sense of humor, Figgy. Athletic sip otter, as Beavis and Butthead would call it. Yes, exactly. So, all right. What about the game itself? I didn't get to watch a lot with this one, but it looked like Michigan really had this game in control from the beginning. They had about a 10-point lead for most of it. UConn pulled close. The Michigan just hit timely threes and just kept UConn at a distance where they could not make up ground.
Yeah. Like I said, wish I could have watched it. Oh, well.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think this is probably one of the most boring Final Fours. When you look at it, UConn beats Illinois 71-62. Arizona loses to Michigan 91. So when I was watching the way this game started, Michigan, we were at Hook's Barbecue in Omp, Alabama, and I saw Michigan was out like 10-1 at the very beginning. It's like Michigan jumped on Arizona big time and never let up. It was just really, really the game. It wasn't even really a game for that matter. But I don't. It seemed like to me the way this Final Four went, it was really just kind of a boring into a good season because neither one. These were not the best Final Four games. And of course, a championship game. Yeah, it's 6 points, but you never had to. It never felt like Michigan was going to lose this game. It felt like UConn was playing from behind and just was never going to catch up. So, Chewy does say that his takeaway was Michigan did beat UConn, but the Huskies made things close. Michigan played their way, made some adjustments after the first half. That's really where a lot of this comes down to is halftime adjustments. Like in football, we talk about that all the time. And it's how does the team come out of the halftime? Any thoughts with that, JT, about the halftime adjustments? I'm trying to deal with something on the Twitch side real quick.
Oh, I don't. That's always such a difficult topic. Think of how I want to approach it. I'm never convinced that it's a real thing that exists, but then sometimes the second half is totally different. Is that because of adjustments or just getting some rest? I don't know.
It could be anything because it's like what was it? The Texas A&M.
I mean, what at the end of the day, what are they adjusting?
Yeah, well, Texas A&M was down. I can't remember who in the SEC this year. They were down 31-3. South Carolina went into Kyle Field, had a 30-3 halftime lead, and A&M gets hot. The second half wins that game 31-30. It was like just amazing how a game can change from half to half. So, but That's sometimes the halftime adjustments. I mean, I've seen teams in college basketball shoot lights out over 50% at half, and they can't buy a bucket in the second half. Oh,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
the coach adjusted that. I don't. Yeah, I'm skeptical of the whole concept of that.
it can be though. It can be. It really depends because see, if you go from it could be a decision of switching from a zone defense to a man and man, or go from man and man to full court press or backing off the press. It can be halftime adjustments. I mean, it can be. Um, but then again, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to just start shooting better. That solves all of your
Exactly.
problems. So
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, Mortal Kombat style. Yes. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, comes out in May. So looking forward to more movies. So, folks, that's kind of the wrap on the college basketball for this season. Chewy, any other thoughts that you have? Chewy, especially follows any surprises that you have that you want to talk about. We got 10 people watching on YouTube. Wow. Thank y'all for being here, folks. Hit that like button, subscribe if you don't mind. We appreciate it. So, yeah, and Chewy said he does. I think you have a point, but depending on the sport, certain adjustments vary from sport to sport. It does. And I hate to say it depends, but it does. It depends. And then sometimes teams just get hot. First half they're horrible, and the second half they come back and they rally. But JT, any other final thoughts before we move on from the college basketball season?
No.
I know it's really, but how does it feel for you to say Michigan Wolverines national champion?
It doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't. The way that this game is not like a college rivalry anymore. It's just two teams that wear colors that play in a stadium that happens to be on a campus.
Okay, I know your hated rival.
They've kind of killed my anger for the rivalry or any type of emotion for it whatsoever.
I gotcha. I understand. Mr. Angel though saying, Fallout Dave, I'm going to take fist and hit you left, right. Faster, harder. Don't stop. Talk dirty to me, Mike. Oh my gosh, Mr. Angel. Oh, and Chewy. One thing that's happened though was with North Carolina's early exit. They got rid of. They ran off Hubert Davis. A North Carolina alum. Chewy says it's a surprise. Was not from the game, but UNC hired Michael Malone for the job. Chewy calls it a questionable hire. I'm like, who the hell is Michael Malone? I mean, you got a friggin' North Carolina alum here.
The mailman?
I know. It's like the mailman's illegitimate son. No, this is Michael Malone. His big, tall, white guy. Not Carl's son, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and like Anna said, hit that like button, folks. Appreciate it. Thank you for that reminder. So, Dave is fixated on gambling, and I do agree with Dave. It is the fans versus the sports betting sites. I think the sports betting sites and the ticket brokers. Those are the two rivals of the fans that don't serve the fans in any way. So, Chewy thinks there was options for UNC. They have said no to such Nate Oates. Oh, what about this? North Carolina State. LSU, remember? We run off Brian Smelly, right?
Yep.
Now he's got to sue for his money because the AD didn't have the authority to hire him because the governor of Louisiana and all the politicians got involved. They bring the lane train to LSU. Make lots of people mad. Well, guess what's happened? They have brought back Will Wade, who was cheating back then a few years ago, but I guess what he did then is now legal. So LSU brings back Will Wade again, who did well with McNeese State a couple years ago in the tournament, dumps them for an NC State, promises to be there for them, and then 1 year he's back in the hotbed of Louisiana. Now, Chewy, I'm sure that you're happy with Will Wade as a hire that for LSU, but then again, we talk about coaches. They had a coach. Everything. Well, guess what, coach? We don't want you anymore because we got Will Wade and we got a reason to bring him back now. Because what he can do is legal because there's no control over salaries in college sports now. They're talking about in football, some of these payrolls are $40 million on some of these teams. It's really getting hard to support college athletics in the current model. We've all noticed about money and even gambling, but so much. LSU goes out there, they get 2 starting quarterbacks, and one has to sit in the bench. It's just
but between never being able to see the games on TV unless they go drinking somewhere, and the pay to play and all it's so hard to want to be a fan, and you got so much else to do. Look, it's more fun just to do the fantasy football stuff, and then the Lions occasionally, you'd be fans of that, right? But at least the games are always on TV. You have the option of always being an NFL fan of all that. With the basketball, it is so much harder, either college or the NBA. You have to pay just for the joy of listening to their idiots talk before and during and after the game, and then spam you with commercials all the time. And then they play on weird nights of the week. It is so much harder to be a fan now of those sports. I'm fine with it. If Michigan wins, good for them. Good for them. I have a lot of happy coworkers. Well, not even a lot of happy coworkers, a few happy coworkers,
I know.
And then, everybody just by Friday, no one will even be talking about it.
Well,
you might find a super fan here or there, and it isn't going to upset you when you do. Well,
there's a super fan that made an appearance slyly coming in from Alabama. It's a great small town republic. Howdy, the way the governor interferes with LSU sports is unseemly. Oh, yeah, I agree. Politics. Oh, my God. It's like, oh, man. I knew Louisiana was Louisiana, but still. How much is too much money in these sports? It's I don't know. We're losing the rivalries. We're losing everybody. It's a year-to-year contract for everybody now. It's like the Florida Gators, the basketball team. They're signed for next year. It's like, and as we've seen, some Duke, the quarterback, got pursued by Miami, so he reneged on his deal. A few of the players that Ole Miss reneged on their deals to go follow lane to LSU. So. Chewy said that LSU had to make this hire because it's a new regime who made the Will Wade move is not the same guy who fired him in the first place. But the last coach was 60 and 70 and below in the SEC hoops. That's fair. I think that the problem that a lot of people have had it with Will Wade is the way he went in 1 year to NC State. And, NC State has fallen down, and because they can't get other coaches. But see, that's the problem is Will Wade went in there, and one of the things he did, he recreated a famous Jim Valvano's shot picture. A lot of the fans up there felt like he was going to spend time there, and then he dumped them after 1 year. And that's, I think, really where the biggest problem and heartburn has been is on the NC State side, because the guy comes in 1 year, recreates Valvano, plays to everybody's heartstrings. We're going to make you great again, and then goodbye. So, I'm surprised Donovan didn't get more consideration. But then again, they were not going to wait for him to the offseason. Billy Donovan, who ask me the question who I like better as a Gator coach, Billy Donovan, Todd Golden. It would be such a
Who do you like better as the basketball coach, Billy Donovan or Todd Golden?
Yeah. Golden says a lot of the right. Oh God, this is a hard. Oh God, Mr. Yeah, I would too, Mr. Angel, on this question. Dive back into bed. Have a good night. And hey, we're going to be busy, Mr. Angel. We got streams from tomorrow night with the missus. We have Anna on Thursday night. I'm got Alaska Jeff Friday. At this point, we'll see how it's a busy week for all of us. So Oh gosh, there's something about Golden that I like better than Donovan. I think he's going to be consistent higher in how his teams perform. It just I can't I would take either one of them. Honest, I can't choose. I want them both. But anyway, like I said, a hard question. Anna says that my grandpa in Russia used to stay up till 4 a.m. to watch NBA and hockey, which was available on normal TV channel in the 2000s. Wow, that that is something. Yeah. Uh, and by the way, folks, Anna, you or anybody else, do y'all have any favorite NHL hockey teams? Because we're going to look at the standings in just a second. They fall down and can't get back up. Exactly, Jess. Yes, yeah. And I tell you, the modern NBA is completely different than what it was in the Bird, Magic Johnson in those days, and Jordan. It's just it's not the same game. So, when's the last time you watched an NFL game? I mean, an NBA game, JT?
Oh, at least a year.
Probably
At
the last time.
year, and that would have been on accident because it was on TV, like at an airport or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Probably the last time I watched was when Joakim Noah was playing for the Bulls, because I liked certain players to follow them and stuff. So, oh yeah, I keep forgetting Billy's old now, but considering Billy's age, a bit of a downside. I was not sure if Donovan could have been a viable option. If it was years ago, it makes sense. Yeah, exactly. He was always rumored to be replacing Patino at Kentucky, but he stayed at Florida. So, and of course, there's the Mrs. Link. Make sure you follow her, subscribe, and she'll be live in the morning again. Take care, Mr. Angel. Mushy peas. Okay, you and your mushy peas, Fallout Dave. Depot, ahoy, sir! Ahoy to that part of Ohio that will be respected, and we'll get the warning call when all the bombers have been dispatched. People, sir, how are you doing? Oh man, yeah, the Help I've Fallen commercials burn in the brain. They do everybody. So, all right. Speaking of the NHL, JT, let's take a look at them briefly because we're rapidly approaching the playoff standings, the playoff time of year. So, which one are you talking about? Villanova as the 8th seed? Or Deepa, who do you consider the worst team ever winning the NCAA tournament?
He's talking about that team with the M.
Oh, yes. I got you. Well, it's hard to call them. It's hard to talk smack with them with the way they were a buzzsaw this year. I'll be honest. I don't even know. Yes, you have arrived. You have missed that part of the stream. We're moving on to hockey right now. I will remind Mrs. She doesn't always check her Twitter, but I will try to get her to make sure she sees it. But some of your favorite hockey teams out there, fire away in the chat if you don't mind. Mine is the New Jersey Devils, who have completely sucked this year.
Oh,
we're just ahead of Martin's
the correct
team.
answer is the Detroit Red Wings.
That's right. Yes, exactly. The Detroit Red Wings. So, God, Jack Hughes wins a gold medal for the U.S. and then yet can't lead his damn team to, message her in Discord. That's a good way to get Mrs. She checks that. She gets the pings there. Jack Hughes takes the Devils to the U.S. to winning a gold medal at the Olympics and can't do jack with them in the NHL. But we can see here Tampa, Buffalo, Montreal, Carolina have already secured playoff berths in the Eastern Conference. While in the Western, Colorado, Dave's Colorado is there. Dallas, Minnesota, and are the only ones that have clinched playoff spots yet. So let's take a look at the current situation. Let me do that. I came up to the wrong screen and don't want to show something that because of all the predators looking out there for the, copyright strikes, everything else. And so,
yeah.
Oh, some funny cotton candy. Okay. That's cool. Oh yeah, we've seen plenty of funny cotton candies. The Columbus Jackets are no longer in the playoffs. We know are no and no longer control your destiny. So Dadman's French hasn't been the same since that swim in the Seine. It would traumatize you if you did it. So all right, top the Central with a win tonight. Let's take a look though at the standings in the East. Out of the Atlantic, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Montreal have clinched playoff spots. In the Metropolitan, if it ended tonight, would be Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. West Cagle, your team is alive. While JT looks like Detroit is.
They're still alive. They're still alive. They've got a few games left. What I did want to point out here, and this view doesn't do a great job of showing it. There are two divisions, the Atlantic and the Metro. In the Atlantic, the Red Wings are sixth because of like a five-way tie with 40 wins. If they were playing in the other division, they would win one more game and be in second place above both Philly and the Penguins. That's how lopsided these divisions are. So you're going to have far better teams potentially not make it in because of the way this stupid wild card and division structure works, where teams like Columbus and Detroit are much more deserving to go than even, I would say, if Pittsburgh or Philly loses one game, but certainly over some of this other crap. So, I mean, this really does not help the NHL at all. And then you end up getting like wild card teams playing like other lower ranked teams. It's such a dang mess. Yeah, it's such a dang mess, and it really takes away from the sport. The only happy thing is that the Maple Leafs have been eliminated.
Yes, everybody celebrates it. Toronto still sucks, folks. Figgy said, if there is a sport I literally know nothing about, it is hockey. Yay! Stay with us, Figgy. We'll teach you whether you want to learn or
again,
not.
It goes back to like the crap where they were letting in 10 SEC teams into the basketball tournament. It's like, why are you pulling all them in? Well, it's because of the way you have it structured, not because the better teams are playing. They should scrap this division system that has not been good for the sport and just have two big conferences and everybody play each other.
Right.
And you wouldn't have to worry. Look, it's not like the East and the West make any sense anyway.
No, not at all.
When you look at it, geographically, it makes no sense. Yeah. And if they want to increase the relevance of this sport, then they need to make some big changes on how it's organized. That's just there's my angry rant.
I don't know the playoff structure and a lot about hockey, but Figgy, have fun. Thank you for coming by. Great to see you again. Now here, Anna saying, I hate to admit it. However, Russians, Canadians, Finland, USA are the best of hockey. Of course, with the four nations, they had Sweden. So Lagatus comes in with, I'm sure Sweden would like to have a word. We got the Russians over the Swedes. Not even close. There you go. National pride. Because so much of our NHL players come from those few countries. It's really interesting to watch the roster makeups on these teams. Now, this is odd. The Western Conference, the Central Division has all three playoff spots set. Mm-hmm. While the Pacific, nobody is set for a guaranteed playoff position in the top three. Then you have the two wild cards there. This is completely odd.
You're going to have teams like Columbus and the Red Wings out of the playoffs with 40 wins, and then Vegas doesn't even. I mean, with 35, and they're going to make it in. And then you have Utah sitting there with 40 wins in a wild card, battling for that.
Yeah, well, still.
And then your second wild card is the Kings with 32 wins, but then the Preds and the Sharks are sitting out. Look at on the outside looking in. Yeah. What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Well, that's the benefit.
That's why this is so. This is just awful.
Well, but see, the difference is that the Kings have not lost as many; they've tied a lot more. The because that overtime loss gives you 1 point. That's why they're ahead. They don't have as many losses as the other teams because they squeezed out that 1 point for the
Dadman,
overtime.
I don't care about overtime losers. I want a winner.
Well,
the words of General Patton, America loves a winner and cannot tolerate a loser.
oh well, yeah. That's I was going to throw something down about world football or soccer, how they all play to 0-0 ties, but I don't want to get my butt kicked by the soccer crowd out there tonight. So yeah, exactly, Deeple. 1 point in a shootout. So see, 3 points if you win, 2 points if you win in overtime. Yeah, there's some way they can change up the scoring with things like that to make them to deal with these type of discrepancies. But I just still think it's interesting how Pacific does not have any guaranteed locked playoff teams. Though I mean, with 5 games remaining, all 3 could make the playoffs, and it looks like all 3 could miss the playoffs. The darndest thing I've seen since that time, when that season Kansas City and Buffalo couldn't finish the game. And they actually legitimately were facing a tiebreaker based on a coin flip. So, small time. I once thought about showing my employees the patent speech, then figured it was not a good idea. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, though. I still put the Russians over all the others in terms of hockey. I will say that. So,
Dadman, who won the gold medal this time around?
The USA.
Yeah, who didn't?
Canada.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but it's all good. I still look at what we have. I mean, I see a lot more Russian names in the NHL than I do see Swedes and Finns and stuff like that. But hey, it's all good. We love everybody. Nonetheless, all the same, and we shall see how this happens to proceed in the next few weeks with 4 to 5 games remaining with these teams that are there.
Look, if I were the Sharks, I would be very upset.
Mm-hmm.
How many games do you need? How many more games do you need to win to overcome a team in LA or a team in Vegas? That's terrible. That is just outright terrible. That you can't get in because you have more wins, but somebody else lost a little less. They lost a little more gracefully in a fewer number of games. It should be wins, and I don't care about everything else.
I can agree with that. I can agree with you. It's about the wins. That's really weird how, and over time, I do agree with you in theory. It's one thing to award somebody some points for not losing in regulation, but when they can lose, when they cannot win so often, and yet it's like it becomes like they're winning, it kind of defeats the purpose. There's something that's off with that whole situation. The
Kings and the Knights should not be in this picture. They should not be in this picture.
No, I know. I agree. But then again, you could say about the Kings also, not just the Knights, but the Kings.
I said both. Yeah, the Kings and the Knights should not be in this picture at all.
19 ties, 16 overtime. 19 overtime losses, 16. Maybe a overtime loss should be a half point or something to do. Whatever.
No points, wins only.
Okay, you heard it, JT Kirk. He's got it. I don't disagree with it. Because what's happening is everything, as we see that they're being rewarded for failure.
Exactly.
And it's one maybe if you capped them to 10 points for the season or something. But it's this way. It's like in soccer or even football when you're playing for the tie to make the playoffs, you know, and all that. So, all right. Well, let's see. So that's where we're going with the playoffs. If it's set today. JT, your team's on the edge. Dave, Fallout Dave's will be in. Good luck though. Deeple 2, Columbus. There's only 2 points out. 3 games remaining. 4 games remaining for Columbus and Ottawa. It's not likely Columbus can catch the Bruins, but they could catch Ottawa. They're only 1 game, basically 1 win behind Ottawa with 4 games left. Detroit has 4 games left and is 3 points behind Ottawa. So there's a tight race there. And the Islanders are not completely out of it either. But hey, that is where we. What the heck? I had a QR code sitting in my. I don't know. I give up on the internet. So hey. Let's see. Let's see. As in now OT. Hey, listen, everybody, 1990s Devils with the trap and boring hockey should be brought back. Martin Brodeur and all, to all the people whined and complained that all this other stuff, that's hockey to me. Low scoring and stuff like that. Oliver, good to see you tonight. How are you doing? I'm going to come back to your question just 1 second. Anna got a question in here. Okay, JT. Who on the panel and in chat has ever played hockey? Can you ice skate, Dad? Of course I can't ice skate. I think I was on ice one time as a kid. I live in the South. I have roller skated before. It's kind of interesting. But I played floor hockey. You basically do a hockey puck or a ball, and you are on the gym floor indoors and use hockey sticks and beat the shit out of people, slap them in the knees and all, and then you hit the. That's just really interesting. But JT, have you ever played hockey?
Roller hockey, yeah.
Roller hockey, yeah. I think our friend Marty with the C.
I have ice skated and I've played roller hockey. I've also played indoor soccer, which is in the same exact layout with the walls as hockey as well. Okay. So
yeah.
And like same number of players and all of that. Yeah.
That's a good question. I think our friend Marty with a C played hockey. I believe he's one that had actually played ice hockey. So at one point. So but yeah, thanks for the question.
I believe he did. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I could get on a pair of ice skates. I'll be honest, because when I roller skated, they were the 2x2, where there's balance. I don't know that I could. I don't know, but hey, I'd be willing to try it sometime. So, thank you for that question. Oliver Belmonte is here. Oliver, is that Mr. Dadman, Mr. Kirk? Which is your favorite basketball movie? Hoosiers, The Pistol, White Man Can't Jump, Above the Rim, He Got Game, Blue Chips, Hoop Dreams, Space Jam, or Coach Carter? JT, what do you think?
I haven't seen about half of those. Space Jam, because I have to pick one.
Why? Is it because it's a comedy you can watch with the kids?
It came out in the 90s, and I was a kid in the 90s, and it had Michael Jordan and Looney Tunes.
I got you.
There you go.
It definitely was better than the new Space Jam, but
that one was garbage. That one was hot garbage.
I'm like JT. I've not seen most of those, but I tell you, and I don't have to. To me, hands down, without a doubt, Hoosiers. Gene Hackman's awesome. I love that. I love the whole spirit of the movie. Coach needed to redeem his career coming to town. The town all put pressure on him, and he did it his way. He didn't just sell out his soul, his coaching staff. The way he coached, he was to instruct in it was such a good movie about what to do right. David versus Goliath, and just was. I liked watching that movie. I'll go watch that movie for the high school scenes, especially when he played 4 on the court. It takes guts for a coach to do that, and it takes integrity. You get smart ass players, they won't listen and everything else. Hey, sometimes you take a loss. Sometimes you learn a lot about yourself and your team, in losing. And there's so many things in that movie, so many messages that were just so emotional. It's like really, really good. The especially when Ollie, the little short guy, can't shoot free throws, and then he wins the game that one time. Everybody had a purpose. Everybody had a thing. 6-man team. It just really was that to me. Without folks in the chat of these choices that Oliver's given here, what do y'all think? With what is your favorite movie? So, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Deeple said he'd choose between Coach Carter and Hoosiers. Yeah. See, I've heard about Coach Carter, but I've not seen the movie. I think Samuel L. Jackson did a good job in that. It's another one of those legendary coaches. So Dave said he watched a hockey game. Does that count? Never heard of the Pistol. And here he is, the Clown Prince of New Jersey, Wes Cagle. Hell, sir, how are you tonight? Good to see you. How are you doing? And yeah, Pistol is obviously the movie about Pistol Pete Maravich. So, speaking of Hoosiers, Auburn recently played in the Hinkle Fieldhouse in the NIT. Nice, very historic. Yeah. Oh crap! What the heck is this? Avast, go away. You're drunk. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And here, the final game reminds me when Johnny Diebler played at OSU, brother, a current coach, took a small town team to state championship, played a huge team from Dayton in states. Yeah, exactly. It really, really. He lost, got mugged, and still ended up with 50 plus points in the game. Oh my gosh! Dave said he likes the Pinky and Brain version of Hoop Dreams. Nice. Wes Cagle brings in Fortnite. If losing teaches us about ourselves, Fortnite has made me an expert about myself. That's good. All right, we're still with 10 people left. We got a few minutes left. We're going to hold it towards 90 minutes tonight. We've had a long week. We're tired, but any other things? I've got a couple other things I can bring up real quick. But JT, while we have at least 10 minutes left, is there any other topics or any other rants or anything that you have or that you want to discuss tonight?
It's interesting. We're in that transitional time of year. I don't feel ready for football, and football is upon us.
Yes. Would you like to care to explain to the good folks out there?
So yeah, the end of the NFL season is not the end of football for the year. Rather, it's just the beginning. The opener for the UFL, another major league football league, was already started. April 3rd was the first game. Yeah, I know. Did you know that?
Yeah, actually, I saw part of the game the other night with Orlando. They actually had fans in the seats this time.
Actually, I take that back. That was actually week 2. The first game was Friday, March 27th.
Yeah. Yeah, the UFL is off. People forget about that. It just started.
Well, it's even easier for me to forget about it because they took my team away from my city, and so now why should I care?
Yeah, I agree with you with that. It's because we can actually look at the standings here. Let me blow that up a little bit. Here we got here. And here we go. Here. All right. Yeah, the Orlando Storm 2-0. Remember, I mocked them ever going back to Orlando because they had like no fans in the stands before, but they've apparently got decent crowds down there so far from what I've seen. Dallas is 1-0. Battlehawks are 1-0. Everybody else is 1-2 or 1-1 or 0-2. The Louisville Kings and Columbus Aviators are winless in the game, in the season so far. So it's interesting because I don't understand why they still have the connection to the USFL instead of just the XFL. Because look at it, the only two teams are only. It's now only two teams that are left from the USFL in the original one: the Houston Gamblers, which they were called the Houston Roughnecks last year in this league, and the Birmingham Stallions. So kind of interesting how God. It was fun. Deeple's 0-2. Yeah, the UFL is playing. How are my Aviators doing? Former Michigan team pokes the bear. Yeah, 0-2. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can enjoy them. You can have them. That's
Yeah, because that's the former Michigan team, right? Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So
even though Detroit is a Delta hub, so I don't know why they become the Aviators when they go down to Ohio. But okay.
I don't know. Aviators. It's all still crazy. So let's see. All right. Glad you brought this up. So the league, but the one thing that's happening with this league this year, they're actually being shown on regular television where you can actually watch them. As opposed to last year when they started on some very obscure networks. So Dave, they're not just a pair of sunglasses. So let's see. All right. So that's with the UFL. We got that coming up. Quick look at MLB. Let's take a look at the standings real quick, and we'll wrap up with this. Let's see here in terms of Major League Baseball. The really early 10 to 11 games in throughout the league. In the East, we got the Yankees up 3.5 so far early in the season, which I don't know with the Yankees. Probably this is the start of more to come for the Yankees to win the division. Cleveland and Kansas City are about a game and a half apart. The whole division is fairly close. The Chicago White Sox are not quite out of it yet, but they will fall quickly. JT, Detroit is struggling a little bit at 4-6. They've been decent the last few years. Any particular problems? What's going on in Detroit this year?
Oh no, I don't even look at it this early.
Yeah.
There's too many games in the sport, and so I don't typically care until at least after Memorial Day weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you.
And look, they go on like a 3-3 series with the Yankees, and they're gonna win all 6 of those. So that right there would put them in first place in the Central. So it's fine.
Yeah, I got you. All righty. Let's see. Indians in first. Yes.
We prefer to call them by their name, the Guardians. If you ever listen to Admiral Teague, if you ever hear him say the Guardians, it's because we're mocking the MLB people.
I'm still like that. Old names. In the West.
What a silly, stupid name. Oh,
I know. Well, in the. What does the Guardian have to do with Cleveland? It's not even.
They're not guarding anything.
I know. It's Cleveland. Anyway, in the American League West, Houston is tied with the Angels. Of course, the Rangers are a half game back. They're now just the Athletics. Wow. We had Utah Hockey Club last year. Now we don't even have them Sacramento Athletics. We don't even call them Las Vegas Athletics. Go figure. Oh, Deeple said that there is a bridge called the Guardian Bridge in Cleveland. So.
What if I rename the bridge to India Bridge? Then can you go back to being the Cleveland Indians?
I guess probably so.
Oh, okay. I want to know the rules.
Well, Oliver said Hoosiers, Blue Chips, and the Pistol are his favorite basketball movies. All right. Brian Hepburn, good to see you tonight. Hey, how are you doing? Yep. Yes, the Gamblers were the UFLT and the USFL when Jim Kelly used to play for the Gamblers. You remember that, JT?
No, but I'll go with you on that.
Oh gosh, that's right. You were a kid back in the 80s, weren't you?
Yeah.
God, dadgummit, I'm so old. Yeah, I mean Jim Kelly played with the Gamblers. You 80s kids, but yeah, it's kind of yeah. So, um, yeah, I've heard different things about the push for renaming the Washington football team. So who knows? Yeah, exactly. The unhoused athletics. Exactly, Fallout Dave. Good, great to
I
great to
love
see
it.
him, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, great to see you tonight. Appreciate seeing you around tonight. So, they used Roughnecks, but they changed the name back this year. Yeah. So, I tell you, I remember the old days of the USFL. It really, really, yeah. And Kelly didn't want to go to Buffalo. Yes, I agree. Oakland Invaders, they were one of the best of the USF teams, like the Jacksonville Bulls. The Bulls were awesome too. So, hey, no, Houston versus Baltimore, hard choice. Wes Cagle used to be a Philadelphia Stars in the old USFL. Yeah, see that league was something else. It was special. It was one time that it was the one time that there was a legitimate challenge to the NFL. So.
Oh boy.
Homeless in Toledo. That sounds like a new movie you can make. Yes, Homeless in Toledo. Sorry, but no. I think we're talking about homeless in San Francisco. Well, no, they're in Sacramento, I think. Hey, Brian, I tell you what, I know Buddy was around a lot when the Athletics were going out of town, and it's truly sad what they did to you guys out there with them moving out the way they did. It just, a slow death watching them. And, anyway, I will never forget where I was in the World Series 1989. I was folding papers in somebody's living room, drinking their sweet tea that they had for me while I was sitting there working folding papers. And Al Michaels, the camera starts jumping on ABC. We're having an earth. And it just stopped. So, yeah. So, yes, Wes said it was a good league. Deeple, never say never. You never know these days. You never know. And Brian said, has not watched an athletic game since 2024. Do not blame you at all, sir. Do not blame you at all. So, all right. Well, we're going to wrap up in the next couple minutes. We got to get through the National League real quick. Let me look at that. The typical log jam so far early between the Mets, Phillies, Marlins, and Braves. Looks like the Nationals might be falling off a little bit, but it's still early. Hey, the Cubs are in the dumpster. Yay.
I was just going to tease you. Say, what's wrong in Chicago, Dadman?
I need to become a Cincinnati Red fan again like I was when I was a kid, Oh, God, that's Ohio, though. I can't do that. Sorry. I was a Cincinnati fan as a kid, but I can't cheer for the Brewers. They should never be good. Pittsburgh, I hated the Pirate Crew in the 70s. And the Cardinals, well, they're kind of harmless. Of course, we got the Dodgers running away in the West already, 9-2. Look, that division's probably already over. So that's where baseball sets right now. All right, so let's see. Let me get a lot of this. God. Dave, does anyone want to be in Toledo? Period. Oh my gosh. We used to watch the World League of American Football.
If you're going to a nice Waffle House.
That's the nearest Waffle House to you, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yep.
Yeah. Just watch out for hippos. That's all.
Hippa or hippo?
Hippo.
Oh, okay.
Watch out for hippos. I'm just going to leave it there. They're going to add Philadelphia to the UFL. The Philadelphia Crack Pipes. Nice. Brian said that they ran under the dining room table when the earthquake hit. 3/4 of the pool water shook out of the pool and killed the lawn in the backyard. Yeah, it was a big, bad quake. It did a lot of damage out there. and the Bay Bridge, and yeah. Oh gosh, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, not the Crane Kingers. Nope, nope. West is saying, "Go Phils." Yep, there you go. Go beat the Braves. Anybody beat the Braves? That's all I care about. People says, "Go Reds." Yep. All right. Make my summer enjoyable. Just want both Cleveland and Cincinnati to do good. Exactly. So I got to jump over to YouTube to see what these are. Because StreamYard
They're
doesn't show.
hippos. They're hippos.
Oh, they
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm sorry. I'm dead.
Okay. I suggest you re-alive and get over it.
Yeah, okay, get over it. Speaking Thursday night, Anna and I will be getting over it on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Okay. All right, breathe. Watch out for hippies. Yeah, them too. Hippies and hippos, yeah. JT, who wants a nice Waffle House? Go for the show. The flying chairs and everything, so. Oh. Oh, my. I don't know if you heard, but Jose Ramirez of the Indians is the most played player in the club's history. Oh, wow, cool. No, I did not know that. See, I don't follow Major League Baseball like I used to. I just there are multiple reasons. We can talk about that another time because, especially the Cubs are out. Pretty much my season's over with. So, Oliver said it's hard to believe that Notorious Dennis Rodman is going to be in the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. Wow. Because he sided with Hollywood Hogan and the NWO way back in the 90s. WCW. No. At least Dennis Rodman made one Hall of Fame, and so Wes says hi to Anna. So Waffle House is the New Jersey of restaurants. But hey, it's a clean. Well, depending if you're in Kentucky, they're not clean, but a lot of them are cool. They're not bad. So, oh gosh, for life. All right, JT, we are at just short of 90 minutes. It's 10:32 on the East Coast. What do you want to end up with? Do you have any final thoughts?
I think I've said all of my angry get off my lawn comments this week. So I think you gave me a good platform to be angry and upset about every single sport we talked about tonight.
Yeah, you kind of grumpy tonight with that. So
yeah.
All right, well, folks, we're going to get out of here, but don't forget, tomorrow in the morning, the Missus is live at 10 a.m. Get your daily dose of positivity. Have fun with that. If you haven't done it before, go subscribe to her channel and listen. I mean, she's a lot of fun in the morning, and just go support her. I ask you to, please, because she is my wife. And she really puts her heart and soul into that. And hearing her laugh is really, really a thing tonight. So I guess Fallout Dave probably will be live, I think, in a few minutes. If he's not live now, make sure go side to Dave while you're there, too. Hey, no problem, Deeple. At least you got here. We appreciate you being here, as always. But listen, folks, if you want something special, check out Anna's Gameland. Go look at her stream yesterday. Where she allowed me on with her, and we had a great time looking at the flyby of the moon. And she did a launch coverage a few days before that. Go check those out. There's some wonderful streams, great information, and go give her a like, subscribe too, with everybody else. But yeah, it was a great show that we did last night. A lot of fun. So with that being said, tomorrow night, the Miss and I will be live at 8 p.m. for another detour with the Dadmans. Thursday night at 8 o'clock, I'll be live. Get over it with Anna's Gameland. Come listen to the wonderful intros that the best co-hosts on YouTube has delivered, and will be a blast for us to have fun together. Scheduled for Friday night at 7 o'clock currently is my talk with Alaska Jeff, the second part of the Death of Storytelling. We're going to focus on some Darth Maul and some Star Wars, so you're going to want to be there for that. Then, of course, Saturday night, the Squirrel streams are back. Saturday night at 9. Join me and whoever shows up for whatever we get into on Saturday night. So I appreciate that. Let me see what's there. Oh, okay. Um, I I think Anna said thank you, thank you, thank you, and then squirrel, hippo, and greater than Dadman. Yes, I guess the squirrels and the hippos are greater than me. So if I can read that correctly, but hey. All right. Yes. Oh, you'll be live tomorrow. Okay, that was your channel. You're watching the Avs tonight, dude. I tell you what, I'm jealous. I wish the Devils were playing. But hey, it's not bad. Great. All right, folks. On that note, let us go. Go Avs, go! Oh wow, we got common ground there. Yep, exactly. So, and I will be over next week with Wade, scheduled when he does a stream on his trip around the world. Exactly. Dave said nothing to get over with the Mrs. 10 a.m. show. Be there if you haven't checked it out. You're gonna love her laughing. And Wes is smashing the uh, links to Alaska Jeff for Friday night. Thank you very much, sir. Squirrel, have a good one. So he thought the Oakland Invaders. The Oakland Invaders. It seemed like it was just like a lightning bolt was on their helmet. It was like orange with a lightning bolt. So anyway, all right. You ready, JT?
Yes, sir.
We made it a 131.23, so we're over 130. So hey, everybody have a great night, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye all.
Let's see if I hit the right button right. Okay, end stream. There you go. No,